Hussein drew the string of the horn bow to the fullest and aimed his black stinger arrow at the giant phantom ant. He paused for a second before shooting the arrow. Clank! The black stinger arrow hit the ant in the head and fell, leaving nothing on its shell. *#T. So hard. It's absolutely a sacred blood creature, shouted Lin Bifeng. In the blink of an eye, the giant phantom ant had come out of a crevice and rushed toward Hussein and Lin Bifeng faster than a cheetah. Hussein took back the black stinger arrow, drew the string one more time and shot the arrow at the giant phantom ant. Clank! The arrow once again ended up hitting its head and did nothing, while the ant had rushed forward more than 600 feet in that moment. You go first, Hussein once again summoned the black stinger arrow and shot it at the ant. Let's go together. The gap on its shell is so narrow that no arrow could fit in there. Quote, Lin cried. I know what I'm doing. Go. When Hussein once again pulled the string, the formidable merely half a mile from them. Lin Bifeng saw that Hussein did not want to leave and had to go first. Lin knew his limit. He could not even withstand one blow from this giant ant and would become a burden of Hussein's if he stayed. Lin was constantly looking back as he ran, worried about Hussein's safety. Hussein soon shot 2 more arrows, which were equally useless, while the giant phantom ant was only less than 600 feet from him. Lin Bifeng's heart was in his throat. Hussein was as stable as a rock. Suddenly, he had a suit of fiery red armor on his body and a ruby crown on his head. Even his hair turned blonde. His scarlet eyes staring at the giant phantom ant. Hussein paused. Almost instantaneously, that giant phantom ant was less than 9 feet from him. Throwing itself at Hussein, the giant phantom ant waved its saw-like claws at his body. Lin Bifeng's heart raced. He saw Hussein suddenly took a step, which was incredibly fast. Ha moved forward instead of backward and stayed very close to the giant phantom ant. He finally shot the arrow. Snap! The distance between them was so short and Hussein's arrow directly went into the giant phantom ant's mouth. The entire arrow disappeared there and the giant phantom ant made a painful hissing sound. Hussein took another step away from the giant phantom ant that was going on a rampage. The giant phantom ant went after him at an incredible speed, making it impossible for Hussein to pull away from it. When it was about to get him, Hussein again stepped aside and perfectly dodged its deadly blow. Watching from afar, Lin Bifeng was very nervous. The giant phantom ant was so fast that Hussein was treading upon sharp knives. Once mistake and he would be dead. But this fight also made Lin's blood hot, giving him the urge to go back and fight with Hussein side by side. Checking the speed of the giant phantom ant, Lin Bifeng gave up this stupid thought as once he went back, he would become an appetizer for the ant. Lin Bifeng felt Hussein's movements were odd after he looked for a while. Although Ha was not as fast as the giant phantom ant, he could always avoid its fatal blows. The steps he made in those critical moments were incredibly fast. Obviously, it was not luck, but a certain footwork Hussein was practicing. Even so, Lin's heart was still racing when seeing signs of danger everywhere. Hussein had practiced Sparticle for just a short amount of time, so his acceleration could not last more than 1 step. He must wait for a while before he made his second step. And that was enough for Hussein. As long as he could avoid the fatal attacks from the giant phantom ant, he still had time to seek opportunities. The seemingly dangerous situation had become quite predictable for Ha Sein since he had shape-shifted into the Fairy Queen. The movements of the giant phantom ant did not look too swift to him. And he had enough time to react. If it weren't for the fact that his speed was not as good as his reflexes, he would not even need Sparticle. While dodging the attacks from the giant phantom ant, Ha Sein was seeking opportunities to shoot his arrows. He had but one goal, which was the mouth of this ant. The ant's shell was too hard and it did not even matter when the arrow hit the gap. He could only shoot the arrow directly inside its body. Snap! Another arrow disappeared in its mouth, making the giant phantom ant roll around on the ground in pain. Ha Sein took the chance to pull away from it. When the giant phantom ant again threw itself at him, he had already pulled the string again. Snap! Between his steps, Ha Sein shot another arrow into the ant's mouth. Lin Bifeng, who was watching from afar, was dumbfounded. It was the first time he had seen an archer like him. Ha Sein was shooting the arrow from all kinds of weird angles without so much as a pause, and all his arrows hit the target. Ha Sein's achievement should be attributed to his opponent at the contest, Lei Ban, who showed Ha what a real archer should do. Shooting while moving was the key. Since then, Ha Sein began to consciously train himself. Coupled with the training from Yang Manli and what he had learned at Black Hawk, Ha Sein became very good at this. But compared to Lei Ban, his accuracy was still lower. His fitness level and hypergeno arts made up for it though. The giant phantom ant slowed down after taking 6 hits. Ha Sein knew the toxins from his arrow were working. Although it was not fatal, the giant phantom ant was losing its strength. Hit the iron when it is hot. Ha Sein would never give up an opportunity like this and was looking for a chance to shoot his next arrow. This giant phantom ant was not nearly as intelligent as the Sacred Blood Fox King. When it was injured badly already, it still did not have the sense to retreat.